Hi, friends. I'm glad to meet you now through this podcast. We read in Acts of the Apostles Peter and John standing before the rulers, elders, and teachers of the law boldly said, "We need to obey God than anyone else. We need to try to please God and honor Him, our Creator, than anyone else or even our own selves." Let us talk about holiness unto God, living a separated life for God, a consecrated and a dedicated life to God. Man must revere God in holiness. In Psalms 51:6, the psalmist says, God wants truth in the inner being. In Leviticus, God says, Be holy because I, the Lord your God, is holy. Same verse comes 5 times in the Bible. In 1 Timothy 2, Paul says, Live in all godliness and holiness, a deep reverence to God. It's a serious matter, but we take God for granted. Bible says this is good and pleases our God. Hebrews 12 we read, you can't live as you like it. God disciplines us for our own good, so that we may share in His holiness. We go through heartaches, sorrowful situations when God disciplines us. Why? So that we may share in His holiness. That is the most important thing. In Hebrews 12 again we read, without holiness no one will see the Lord. So make every effort to be holy. It's absolute necessary. So our part is to strive hard. Ezekiel 44 we read, you must distinguish between the holy and the common, between the unclean and the clean. The Bible says, teach the commandments to all the Israelites. You must be far above. Your moral standards should be high above than all the other people. No compromise in this regard. Old Testament time, if a priest enters the Holy of Holies without self-examining himself, he will be struck dead. In Leviticus we read, God says, consecrate yourselves and be holy. Lord brought his people out of Egypt to be their God, to be holy. Why? Because he is holy. Lord is the one who makes us holy. With our own efforts, we will not be able to keep up to his standard. But with his help, definitely we can do so. You are to be holy because I have set you apart from the nations to be my own, says the Lord. In Deuteronomy 20 we read, heaven is called God's holy dwelling place. More than 100 references talks about holiness. And God has promised us to give us this place when we follow His commandments. That is, to be holy for Him. He is a holy God, a jealous God. There is no one holy like the Lord, none besides Him. All His ways are just, a faithful and just God who does no wrong. Holy God is the unfailing source of security for His people. We can always count on Him. Many places in the book of Psalms we read, for the Lord our God is holy. He is a holy God, holy Lord. The beautiful thing about the life of Jesus was His holiness, the holy life that He lived. No man ever lived as holy as Jesus was. We see in the Bible, Joseph lived a holy life, Moses lived a holy life, Daniel lived a holy life, the apostles lived a holy life. What's the result of being holy for God? All the above people were immensely blessed by our God. They lived courageously and with satisfaction, which comes only by living a holy life for God. In the life of Jesus, we see demons recognized Jesus as the Holy One of God. Many places we see whenever He cast out the demons, they started shouting at Him, what is there between you and me? O Holy One of Israel, O Holy One of God. Romans 7 we read, the law is holy and the commandment is holy, righteous and good. That's why Paul says, offer your bodies as living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. God chose us before the creation of the world to be holy. Can you imagine? He chose us before He could create the earth. in order to be holy for Him. In Ephesians 5, we read, not even a hint of impurity to be found in God's people. We need to live a separated life, a dedicated life for Him. God saved us and called us to be holy in life. We need to lead holy life. Peter says we are a holy nation to God. In 2 Peter 3:10 we read, the day of the Lord will come like a thief and destroy everything that is earthly by fire. So we need to live holy and godly lives, looking forward to the new heaven and new earth. In Revelation 20 we read, holy ones will reign with Christ for 1,000 years. So let us make every effort to be more like Jesus every day. Let us be shining light in this world filled with darkness as a lighthouse which helps and shows the sailors the right path to choose in utter darkness. May God bless you all.
For feedbacks, please write to us to info@fibaonline.org or WhatsApp us to 916364252164.